Ms. Monica Bermudez, who is present. And she told me that her son had been bullied in elementary school, and that he'd been bullied to the point that he felt the need to take his own life. And so from that point to this point, we have been moving to raise awareness against bullying in Georgia. In a few minutes, I'm going to let her get up and tell her story. But the definition of bullying in Georgia is any act, whether it's intentional, verbal, or physical, that puts somebody in a climate of fear. In Georgia, since 2011, bullying has been a crime. If it's done at a school bus stop, on school property, or actually in the school, it is a misdemeanor of a high and aggravated nature. It's called disrupting a public school. And the reason why is because if you are in a classroom and you're in a climate of fear, you can't learn. And if you can't learn, you can't achieve. And the problem was that we believe schools weren't doing enough to deal with the issue of bullying. So we pushed forward to change the law, and it's all because of Jaheen Herrera and Ms. Monica Bermudez. And I would just like briefly for Ms. Bermudez to tell her story.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ms. Bermudez. My daughter is Jayla's my son Jaheen Herrera passed away 3 years ago, April 16, 2009, due to bullying. He'd been through a lot in school. He was telling me about it. At first, I was telling him to, ignore them and just continue to do his work and get ready to go back home to St. Croix because I had my tickets paid to go back home with my kids. But unfortunately, he never made it back home. He took his life April 16 because of all the taunting and bullying he endured at the school in DeKalb County that I want to mention my name. I'm here to let the kids know that anytime you have any problems, any bullying issue, don't be scared to talk. You have your parents, you have teachers, you have whoever don't want to listen to you, you can go to the other person, I don't want to be long because everybody else has to speak or whatever, but because of Jaheen, the bullying law has been passed, has been strengthened, and I thank God for that, And I will continue. You almost see me like that, but I will continue to speak wherever I go, wherever they invite me to speak. Saturday I'm supposed to meet with the King's family to be a part of the I Had a Dream speech. And I tried to push for the federal law to be passed. So this finally stopped. Thank you so much. God bless.
I personally have to ask one question. Did you ever know that there was an issue between your son and what bullies at the school? Anything that was going on?
Yes. When he came home I noticed he wasn't eating like how he used to eat before. He wasn't sleeping right. He started to change, switch up on me. And that's when I something's got to be done. And when I went to the school, they turned a blind eye. Now my son isn't here. So I'm his voice, and I will always be his.
Thank you so much. And again, this is Attorney Griggs, and this is what he deals with every day. And these are the types of families and the cases that he has. And I know that there are certain types of bullying between physical, emotional, cyber. And what some people don't know is that, especially students, now with Facebook and Twitter, you can go to jail just as easily for bullying somebody on a social media network than you could for jumping somebody out of school.
That's true, because what a lot of young people don't realize is everything you post online, there's a history of it, whether you delete it or not. And all the person has to do is print it out and give it to the proper authorities, and you can go to jail. You can go to jail for a very long time. And later on in the panel, you will hear from a distinguished attorney, Mr. Banks here, who is with the Fulton County DA's office, and he'll tell you the consequences of doing these things. But what you have to understand is this. You're supposed to go to school to learn. You're not supposed to go to school to pick on somebody. You're not supposed to go to school to put somebody in fear. Your parents put you in school to learn. And if you're not there to learn, you need to reevaluate the reasons why you're there. Because there are laws in the state of Georgia that will punish aberrant behavior such as bullying.
All right, this is for Dr. Joseph Jennings. Now, Dr. Jennings, can you share with the youth how you survived the multiple shootings and, you didn't retaliate with violence after, such crazy circumstances?
Yes, I can. But first, before we even get into that, it's really important to me that, especially since we got so many young kids that are out here, to not really glorify what I went through. I believe there are two kinds of people that can get up and give you a testimony. One is a person like myself. I was bullied. I became the bully. I've been burnt. I've been stabbed. I've been shot 13 times. I got 3 bullets in my body now. I lived a dream that came crashing down. I got shot one time. I came home, and I'll never forget, they shot me twice in my arm, and then they shot me twice in my chest, and I spun around. And that's kind of how we lived. We were taught. We were acting out on what we had been taught. We have kids nowadays that are acting out on what they've been taught. And I'll never forget, they shot me 5 times. I broke and ran, almost died. 3 bullets in my arm, 2 in my chest, came through my arm. I didn't die, and the next day I decided to kill the family that had set me up to kill me. But young people, let me just do this. I think we have a generation of kids that don't use common sense no more. There are choices that we make in life, and then there are consequences to that choice. And so I decided that I would go to the house of the people and pour gasoline around the house and set it on fire, and I was going to sit in the chair and shoot everyone that came out the house. But I thought about it. I thought about the consequences, the price I would have to pay. I think, and I spoke to your brother backstage a moment ago, we got a generation of kids that don't think about no consequences no more. And I thought, I can't go to jail for the rest of my life. I thought about my kids, and I could not go to jail for the rest of my life, and I simply just changed my mind. I think we have a generation of kids out there. There's an old proverb that says, as a man thinketh, so is he. We've got to change the way these kids think. It's not all right to shoot down their grandmama. It's not all right to be no driver. I don't care what nobody say. There's right and there's wrong. So we've got to rethink the way, or challenge them to rethink the way that they've been thinking. So I spent a whole lifetime, one of the books that I wrote is called Prison of the American Dream. And we're told that from the time they were young, because even the young bucks now, it's all about the money. It's all about the green, the cheese. But you got to understand, what go up got to come down. It's not about the American dream. It's not about the house and the gold. Thank God for houses and golds and all of that. But it's about a foundation. It's about a family. It's about God. It's about education. It's about taking care of those that are less fortunate than that. But what go up got to come back down. I moved to California and made a bunch of money, paid cash for a Rolls Royce. But you know what? Again, what goes up got to come back down. I think we have a generation of kids that are waiting. But again, if I was bullied, I got to the point that said I wasn't going to be bullied no more. And I became the bully. So I'm writing a book called Bully the Bully. I wrote a book called Bad Boy Turned Good. And the first chapter says, do gangsters go to heaven? Yeah, they go, if they change their mind, if they change the way they think. Anybody can make it. I don't care what you come out of, what color you are. Anybody can make it if you get some backbone and lay a foundation down and build on that foundation.
Now, for those of the students that are already there, especially Atlanta, Clayton County, Gwinnett, there's a big gang problem. For those that are already in the gangs, they're already living that lifestyle, what is your advice for them to make the first foot to get out of it, to get away?
Well, first we have to recognize them as human beings. They're not some aliens a million miles away. They're not necessarily bad kids. They're acting out on what they've been taught. But if we don't break the curse, if we don't bring information, for my son, it was too late. Because my son turned out like I turned out, and eventually killed a man over a humbug that tried to bully him. But eventually he had to go to jail. But for the young brothers that are out there, I suggest there's a whole lot of them. There's a generation of brothers and sisters that are out there that might be locked up in the whole gang lifestyle. But I told somebody this the other day, and they got upset with me. I said, you don't have a right to tell a gang member to come out of a gang if you don't have a family for him. Some of them, all they got is their boy. That's who takes care of them. That's who feeds them. And until we offer a response to that, you can't tell the dope man to come off the corner. You can't stop slinging no dope if he can't get no job and he got kids and they got to put food on the table. And we got to tell them that there's hope. And we got to make sure that there's a safety net when they come out. And I believe there are people that are out there that are waiting for them to come out to give them a word. But first, we've got to make sure that we provide them with a family as well.
Yeah.
You are awesome. Dr. Joseph Jennings. Now, I'm going to go to our student real quick, Mr. Bruce Lee. We're going to come to you. Now, as far as the students in your school, you have experienced and seen bullying in your schools. How have you and the Fulton County Youth Commission implemented ways to stop the bullying in your schools?
I think first and foremost, I'd like to explain what the Fulton County Youth Commission is. We're a coalition of student leaders, and what we do is we recognize the importance of what leadership can do for our communities. And each and every one of us is a leader, which is why we joined the Fulton County Youth Commission. And our goal is to create solutions to the problems that we see, especially facing the youth. And so one big major issue that we found was bullying in our schools. And we've done a lot of things to try to combat bullying, and the most important thing is education. Because education, when you understand things, that's how you can solve problems. So to combat bullying, one of the first things that we did was we created a law book that informs students about their rights and informs students about the law. And a good point was already made about Georgia's anti-bullying law, and it's important to realize that Georgia is a pioneer for fighting against bullying right now. The anti-bullying law is one of the best in the nation, and it expands the definition of bullying and makes it so that bullies, when caught, can be punished. And the handbooks that you can get out there, those are really important to read, not only for people who want to learn more about bullying, but for all sorts of things, because not everyone that's a bully is simply a bad person. Bullying can be caused by making bad decisions, people who aren't considering what they're doing, and that law book gives a lot of good information for kids that maybe don't know certain things. For instance, something that they think is completely harmless or innocuous, like having a fake ID, when used the wrong way, a fake ID can be considered a felony. If you have a girlfriend and you're texting her and you send her a sexual picture, that could count as child pornography and you could be going to jail. So it's a lot of things that, we have to recognize that bullies aren't all like monsters or they're evil. It can just come from people making bad decisions. And so the main thing that we try to do is we inform people. We give them education. We let them know what the laws are, and hopefully then we can help people raise a community where people can do the right thing.
Yes. Give it up for the Fulton County Youth Commission. I like y'all. Now, if there are kids out here and they say, hey, I want to be a leader, I want to be a part of the Fulton County Youth Commission, how can they do so?
We give a lot of information on the law books that we give out, and if you head out to our table, there's pamphlets for the Youth Commission, but it's really simple. You just have to ask about it, and you can interview to become a Youth Commissioner. And I think that's important for a lot of kids to understand, that you need to take initiative. If you think that you're a leader, if you want to be a leader in your school, then find the initiative. Seek programs that will allow you to grow as a leader, which I did when I joined the Fulton County Youth Commission. And this is the kind of philosophy that transcends just like the Fulton County Youth Commission. You can use this in your everyday life. You need to be able to take initiative to fight bullying, because bullying is a problem that's been around forever and it's not going to go away if we just talk about it. We need people who are taking initiative to actually stop this. So if we have laws, that's great. But if we don't have students in our schools who are leaders, people admire these kids, and they're the ones that are talking out against bullying. They're the ones that are standing up against the bullies. That's how we can truly make a difference.
Thank you so much.